Last year, I shared my deconversion story. Kind of hit my bullet points, had everything written out, my points, anyways, and kind of the timeline. I did a lot of internal work to be prepared to write my story. This last year has been insane. I planned on chronicling my experience the first year after crossing the line from, well, I would say it took me about 7 years to deconvert, which I shared in the first YouTube video of these. I've shared about 4 or 5 videos after that, but that's a whole year's worth, right? That's nothing. I have so much to share. However, I have been through hell and back with a family situation. I started fostering my niece who has serious medical condition. She's a heart warrior. Her heart's not right, and we've done our best with doctors to give her the best functioning heart possible. She went through a big fixed heart surgery. So my family has been through the ringer this year, and we already had a bunch of medical issues going on with my dad for the last 3 to 4 years, a fight for his life, which honestly and ironically, it brought up a lot of issues about me not believing in the same God my family believes in. So part of me feels sad that I didn't cut through the emotions and everything else going on, which was really hard because I was busy from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep, emotionally laboring and physically fighting for my niece's life. But there's so much there. And a friend, I don't even know this person. One of the groups I was in called the Cult of Christianity, or Leaving the Cult of Christianity on Facebook, after sharing a book that I was reading and my desire to understand where we come from scientifically for the first time in my life, being allowed to pursue those things. Don't mind my bedhead, okay, guys? My 2 toddlers, my niece and my daughter, they're both 2 years old, are napping right now. So I have to take what little moments of quiet in the house that I have. And I chose this before taking a shower. So someone asked me to do like an interview about my deconversion and where I am or whatever. I'm not exactly sure what everything will entail. Whatever he wants to do, I'm excited to share my story. And so I was watching his other interviews on his YouTube, and his deconversion is really awesome to hear. Someone who is a biblical scholar leaving Christianity is like a huge deal because the intellectual labor that he is doing, his YouTube channel is Harmonic Atheist, if anyone's looking. But I know he eagerly wants to put together the intellectual path for leaving Christianity. What is really going on? Where did our history come from? And line it all up. And I can see how much value is in that. As someone who deconverted and was looking for tools, answers, someone to connect with. My whole life was my Christian family and church family, who I love dearly, but now I've become an enemy to on most levels. Even just, a loving conversation can turn into them trying to minister to me, or me being offended by the fact that they don't respect what I have intellectually understood and the reasons that I've left faith, or whatever the case might be. I try not to get too offended because I know what it's like to believe and to be on the other side of things. But anyways, reached out, wanted to do that. And it just made me realize that while I was watching one of his interviews preparing just trying to prepare for maybe what he needs to add to his YouTube channel and what I actually have to offer, and my background, my understanding of where I came from. One of the first people he does an interview with, God damn it, I can't remember his name. He wrote the book Nailed, I believe, but I cannot remember the author's name, and I feel like ashamed by that. But it's just because I'm quickly responding to it. I didn't take any notes. Shit, I hate when I can't follow my train of thought where I need it to go. He tells Tim, harmonic atheist, YouTube person, so much more than that, but you know what I'm trying to say. Oh my God, I should have taken notes. I should always take notes. My mind is not a mind that functions well without notes. I can passionately respond to things for sure, but if it's just me kind of trying to get my point across, I chase a lot of rabbits, shoot a lot of squirrels. I realize watching their conversation, and this person who left Christianity at 20 years old, but is, 20-year-old, 40-year-old and plus atheist now, has lost touch with what it's like to have faith, and then trying to get your point across to others, other than, circle jerking with other atheists, intellectually like banging things out and going, holy fuck, how could these people be so dumb, right? That's what Christians think about atheists, and people even think about atheists that aren't atheists, is that, they just think they're so much better because they have this intellectual high horse they're riding around on. I don't really consider myself I tried to be an intellectual. I'm an extremely emotional person. I'm empathetic. My intellectual capabilities always are, mostly just on par with emotional connection and understanding people, like psychology, stuff like that. So I keep hearing this guy tell Tim, this author of Nailed, tell Tim, like, you need to chronicle your life the first year as an atheist. And that's what I hoped to do and didn't do. And I think even though I am, as Tim also says, 110% atheist, it's hard for me to share my message in a way that doesn't hurt people, right? And I think what I still have that a lot of atheists don't is a deep compassion and empathy for Christians. Because I still deeply love so many of them. They are still my friends and my family. And even though I know I'm their enemy and they might be afraid to hear the things that I have to say, I also know that they saw me passionately on fire for God. The kind of fire that you don't quench. Like, I was a fucking fireball. Like, I am sure many of them are mind blown to even hear that I'm an atheist, are heartbroken, hurting, sad, praying really, really hard for me, trying to understand how it happened. I'll tell you how it happened. Just have a conversation with me. I want to talk about it. I haven't been able to talk about it because I'm afraid to hurt you. I'm afraid to say the things that I need to say because I don't want to hurt you. And I need to say the things that I need to say. They are so important for my own healing and for what I believe to be the dangers of Christianity and indoctrination. Again, can't say it that way, right? Like, I can't just put this stuff on my Facebook, even though I've offended so many Christians just by leaving faith. I can't put it out there like that. I can't say, I don't want to use words like duped, stupid, sheep. That's not my heart. And that's not even how I feel. because I wasn't stupid. I was a very intellectual Christian, passionate, but I didn't just buy what my pastor said. Heck no, I was on a search for truth. High, low, ins, outs, Greek, Hebrew, my concordance is all marked up. My every Bible translation that I could get my hands on are all marked up. If I loved a scripture, I knew that scripture inside and out. I knew which historical figure we believed wrote it. I knew what all of the biblical scholars' thoughts were about it. And then I decided for myself what I believed for it. However, even though I went to those depths when it came to studying the Bible, I remember being told many times, especially toward the end, which almost just kind of pissed me off more, was like not to read books that weren't the Bible, not even to understand the Bible. You don't read books that aren't the Bible. The Bible is the only book that you should read. And it bothered me because there's just like a lot of information in the world. Why would we just shut all the information out? But people who are trying to protect their faith have a fear of the enemy coming in through other writings, which I get it. I do. But I was reading other Christian authors, it wasn't like I just picked up an atheist book and read that. I was reading other Christian authors, but they were still raising questions to me that I needed to pursue. However, it seemed it didn't sit well with me that people were unwilling to even read other books, right? Like, why wouldn't, first of all, if the Bible is what the Bible is, what I believe it to be, why the heck would another book ever change that, right? My faith was sound. It was strong. It wasn't going anywhere just because somebody else, gave me new information. In fact, all the information I ever got just solidified my belief in the Bible. I was really, really good at my biblical gymnastics, where I could reason away any other, if I couldn't reason it away, I would have left Christianity long before, because I needed to be able to do that in order to stay in my faith. So I was becoming like bulletproof in my faith, where nothing was shaking me. Everything I was finding, I was able to find scriptures for, explain scriptures about. But it really did start to bother me that people were criticizing me reading other books, even though they were adding to my faith. And so I actually wanted to start reading books that weren't Christian books, because I wanted to know if my faith could stand up against someone else's lack of belief. I don't really remember pursuing that. There was enough information still that I needed about the Bible to not really study other religions. When I first started to kind of open my eyes to the possibility that Christianity in the Bible wasn't what I thought it was, I definitely looked into other faiths, because I wanted to see if there were parallels. And of course if you look at it, the parallels don't end. In fact, some of the stories are literally just ripped out of other mythical stories. It's kind of crazy. However, so here I am, and I'm joking, right? And I'm just like, this is like hilariously like nuts that I didn't see it for so long. But when I share it like that, how does somebody who's in the Christian faith now feel, right? So I have an opportunity to share my story with empathy and compassion. I let myself be angry. I felt my anger. I shared some things in my anger, because I have every right to be angry and to tear down the damn walls if I want to. I can light the shit on fire if I want to. Who's gonna listen to me though if all I'm doing is burning bridges all around me? Nobody's gonna listen to that. I'm nervous. I don't want to be cunning. I don't want to be one of those kind of people either, right? Authenticity means everything to me. So I'm never going to pretend to be something that I'm not, even to get like my point across or to get you to hear something. So I am an atheist. I'm not going to pretend that I'm not. I'm not going to stop sharing the important things that I think are dangerous about faith, but I am going to be careful in the way that I share them. Remember who my audience is and who I'm speaking to. If you are questioning your belief, I don't want to mock you. I don't want to make a joke out of it. It's not a fucking joke. My life was upside down for 7 years while I figured it out. It was painful. I lost close friends. And that's the part of the story, once you get to the other side, that people don't connect with other Christians on once you leave, because you're so hurt and you're so angry. You don't have space for them to try to bring you back to God. You don't have the energy for it. You're just trying to fucking pick yourself up after being blown away by like this waking up that is mind-boggling. I miss my dad. This is the part of the story that doesn't get shared. I miss my dad. Our conversations were very spiritually intellectual. And now we can't have conversations at all about anything. Because for him, everything is about God. And for me, everything is about not God. I miss being the voice of reason in my family because I've lost that. Though I am still a voice of reason, and that's who I am. To them, I'm an enemy. I am, at one point, my sister was gonna give me power of attorney over my niece in the hospital to help with medical decisions, or when she couldn't be there, because being her only parent, they weren't like, when she was in ICU and stuff, like I couldn't just go in there. And Tori was so mentally checked out, my sister, that she couldn't like approve everything all the time and be there all the time, and she was just like checking out. And when it came to giving me power of attorney, they were scared. You know, they would have wished my brother did it, or somebody else that had faith. Because what about if I made a bad decision because I didn't trust God to give me the answers? I was no longer God's puppet. And that also means, I hate to say this because I don't think that my dad does it on purpose, but he's no longer allowed to be controlled by the fear of religion or hell or anything. So they consider that like I don't check my morality, but it's quite the opposite. I'm an extremely moral person. You'll hear me curse and stuff, but I don't lie, I don't cheat, I don't steal. I'm still the same morally sound human being that I was as a Christian. God damn it. I miss my family. I miss going to my Aunt Mary's house and hanging out, and my cousins. I miss that. I know DNA still connects us all. And so I know that they still love me. I do. I feel that. But I also feel that I'm held at a distance. I don't want people to be afraid of me. I don't want people to be afraid of the things I have to say. And I still want to sit at the family table and have conversations that matter. Just like when I talked passionately about Jesus and the Bible, I want to be able to share my heart about the world and their country and my life and my kids. I don't have a place to go anymore where we all think similarly and we're after the same goal, which is one of the most, it connects people, right? When you're on the same path, you're connected. You're connected by this belief system, this social construct that you've designed. I'm an outsider now. I'm too far past it, though, to ever come back, and I don't want to. I definitely want to bring my family over to the side with me, right? I do. So I guess they don't want their whole world flipped upside down. They can and probably should stay away from me. Doesn't hurt any less, though. Yeah, like I was saying, I was almost not even given power of attorney because I might make the wrong decision in faith about my niece, even though I was the only one who knew everything about her condition. And I hate to say it, but I was the one who cared about that. I didn't just pray. I didn't just pray for it to get fixed. I studied. I researched. I found answers. I helped the doctors understand what was going on by being the eyes and ears over my niece so they could make the best decisions about her. Some things you don't see on a scan. You have to watch the behavior of your child to understand. They understand what's causing that behavior, but they can't sit there with that baby for a month and see how they respond to everything, right? That's the mommy's job. That's the parent's job. Luckily, my fight for my niece has paid off, and I will be adopting her. But you better damn well believe that my family, though they know she's safe and she's not going to die, believe that her soul is in jeopardy by being in my care. And then even though I love her more than anyone in this world, I love her more than anyone in this world. They think my love will ultimately take her away from God forever, right? I'm going to teach her not to love God and etc. And I mean, that's true. I'm definitely not raising her as a Christian, not even a little bit. I think they just hope that, like, maybe this is God's plan, or that somehow it will save me in the end, or, you know, I know that they just have faith that God will figure it out. So they just are resting in that, which is fine. I get it. But I also still feel the pain of what those conversations behind my back resulted in, and the manipulation of religion that was going on between family members. There's just so much. So I'm sharing this video essentially to I'm going to start sharing about, like, my life and how this affects me day to day, and what relationships look like as you walk out your deconversion. There will be some retrospect videos where I share stories of what has happened over the last year. And then there will probably be videos of, like, in the moment stuff going on. But I definitely want to keep vlogging and sharing my story here. I want to try to keep things focused. It's probably not going to happen particularly well, but I'll do my best to at least highlight in the notes of each of the videos what I'm going to be talking about, so that it's a little easier to find stuff. I have hair again. I know in my previous videos my head was still pretty shaved, but here I am. I don't know. I love people deeply. I don't want to hurt anybody. My heart is not to hurt people. My heart will always be to love. whether it doesn't matter what faith I would participate in or deny. I love people. People are my heart, connecting. And sharing my testimony of deconversion is a labor of love. So I hope that those who know me hear my heart in my message, and not just that I want to destroy faith. What I'm sharing is my life. I don't want to make you uncomfortable. I have a deep need to be understood. It's really important to me to be liked and understood. So that in a way that has stopped me from sharing a lot, because I don't want to put it in people's faces, and I don't want to be misunderstood. It's so painful to be misunderstood. But I've just kind of been like a big fuck you on that. Like, if you don't understand me, that's not my problem. But when it comes to people who I have a deep connection and relationship with, it obviously is a problem. And I don't want that to be my legacy. I want my legacy to be my passionate, fiery self went from loving God Almighty, the Christian God, to slowly breaking through the layers of indoctrination, waking up. And I want that beautiful story to be written. When you first let go of that fear, the fear of like the unknown is so big, and you're just like, my life is gonna end and that's it, and that I don't want that. It's not what I signed up for, right? You start to like, this can't be true. I need to find the pieces to put this back together, because I need heaven. I need God to be real, because I don't want to just end. And then you can't put it back together. I couldn't put it back together, though I definitely tried. If I can undo it and just go back, I would. I really, really would. What I didn't know, I think for the most part, wasn't hurting me until it was. However, the further away I get, the more I know how important this is, and the more I can see how badly it did hurt me. It did hurt me, especially as a child. But I want to talk about that stuff more later on, because I'm not here to shoot fiery arrows at people. I'm not. I don't want to hurt people. It's kind of like how when I talk about how I'm an anti-spanker, can't use the word abuse. I have to be kind and compassionate. If I want people to hear me and make real changes, I have to be able to offer, nuggets of information that make you think, rather than condemn you, rather than criticizing everything about you. I have to be able to peel away the layers one little bit at a time. If I start using words like abuse, you shut down. If somebody came up to me and was like, what you're doing is abuse, I would be like, fuck you. You don't know me. And I'm not going to listen to anything they have to say. You cannot be offensive off the bat. Like, even if you don't agree with somebody, you don't go around, some people don't have any tact. Some people do go around like that, but I'm not one of those people. If I disagree, I want to disagree in a way where we can have a conversation about it. It's not a debate. It's not, and it's certainly not about hurting people. That's, again, the last thing I want to do is bring pain, hurt, and confusion. Even though the scriptures talk about how Jesus comes with a sword to, anyways, you want me to talk about the scriptural side of all of this yet. I'll stick to the emotional side of it. Okay, so how I want to wrap this up is in the way that we deliver our message. I just want to be, I don't care so much if I'm misunderstood anymore, but I don't want to hurt you. So I'm going to choose my words wisely. I'm going to tell my story, and though it might be offensive, maybe it'll make you think. Maybe you'll just want to save me more. You'll see a vulnerability or a weakness there. I'm going to try not to capitalize on anybody else's vulnerability, but if you've questioned your faith or something doesn't line up and you can't reconcile it, I would love to talk. And not in like a let me just deconvert you kind of way, but it's actually really comforting and peaceful to come to a place outside of faith. This sounds cheesy at this point, so I'm gonna wrap up, but I think what I was trying to get back to was that when I did leave faith, how terrifying it was to not have heaven, and it was really cool to discover hell wasn't real though, but it was even sadder to not have, the magical kingdom to go to. And I do think that there really wasn't enough answers what that was going to look like anyways for me to really like buy into it. I didn't really care that much about heaven. I just cared about being with God forever because our relationship was so amazing. It's a love story, and that's all that I cared about. But when I realized I wasn't going to exist forever, that one was really sad. But it made me hyper aware of my life here and now and how amazing it is to be in this place in history. What an awesome chance that ended up being, and how excited I am to be here right now and to live this life. This is my life. This is my body. This is my home. This is my family that I created. Like, this is mine. And I'm free. I'm a free fucking agent. And I live for today. I don't live now for my afterlife. I live for this life. I'm not wasting a minute of it. I'm doing the damn thing. And I have a lot of zest and zeal for life. And I hope to have the fullest life possible. I spent a lot of time in Christianity the first 27 years of my life. And 27, 28, maybe 29. But now that I'm out of it, I have an unshakable peace. I'm scared of death now where I wasn't before. But it's one of those healthy fears that I didn't think you should have or even existed. But it's okay to be afraid of fire. It's okay to not want to die, right? Like, those are healthy things that keep us alive. So yeah, I don't want to die because I don't want to end. But I'm not afraid of it. When it happens, I'm not afraid of anything that's going to happen afterward. So in that sense, I don't fear it. I have FOMO real bad. I don't want to miss out on any of this earth, even if things get really bad. Like, I want to be here. I want to be here fighting till the end of life, to the end of the existence of everything. I hate that I'm not going to be here forever. It makes me very sad. But there's a peace in just embracing me, my body, myself. It's really cool. And there was a lot to undo there too. A lot of self-hatred for my body, for my human existence. I think there was something wrong with me that I was born into sin. So my flesh was dirty. God, it's so crazy to actually embrace my body and to love myself for the first time. Those are brand new experiences that I didn't have until recently. I didn't even realize I was taught to hate myself, to think that I'm nothing without God. And then to read scriptures that I was fearfully and wonderfully made is like so contradictory. And I want to be loved and cherished. So I needed God to have that, but now I know that this body is my home, and I just want to use every possible tool at my disposal to stay alive, to live, to take care of my children, to fucking enjoy this life. Like, you know, Christianity is a lot about like self-denial and self-deprecation, and nope. That was actually one of the problems I had with Christianity. I wrote a blog once before I even left faith called "The Church Taught Me to Hate Myself." And it's true. I did. They told me that I was a dirty, sleazing, skeezing, disgusting clump of flesh. I'm not. I'm a fucking awesome, evolved being. That's some fucking amazing shit. I'm excited about it. All right. Peace out.